All right, here we go.
New Phineas and Ferb is here.
We're back, baby.
For 104 more days
I know what we're gonna do today.
of summer vacation.
I am ready for summer shenanigans.
Let's do it. Oh, yeah.
All right. We're gonna bust Phineas and Ferb once and for all.
Are we gonna do this again?
New inventions, shenanigans, innators, adventures, and songs.
Brand new summer vacation.
New Phineas and Ferb starts June 5th on Disney Channel and next day on Disney Plus on disneyplus.disney.com.
Vitamin Water Zero Sugar has great taste, zero BS, and obviously zero sugar. For those with zero room in their calendar, zero patience for slow walkers, those who get 0 hours of sleep on a Saturday night, have zero filter, zero given, and zero interest in grabbing a plain, boring water. Grab a delicious Vitamin Water Zero Sugar today.
This is a Hungarian proverb. First you lie, then you steal, then you kill. And we are in the position now where this man has totally betrayed my trust.
This is the plaintiff, Edward Silvio Emory. He says he was hoodwinked by the defendant into buying a car he was selling. The car's no good. The guy knowingly sold him a piece of junk. And he wants the $300 he had to spend fixing it back. So he's suing for just that today. This is the defendant, Chris Day. He says he has this guy's title for the car he bought, and all he has to do is finish paying him the amount he's owed. This car is his. He's not taking it back. It's a good car, and he thinks the judge will agree. He's accused of unloading a hooptie. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $500 for the balance on the car, plus repairs.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Emory, tell me what happened.
I befriended this man, and he has misrepresented a car that he sold me.
Okay.
Yes, for $200.
How did you find the car? For $200?
Yes.
Okay, what kind of car was it?
It is a 2002 Pontiac GM.
Was it operable?
No.
Okay, well, you knew that when you bought it, right?
Yes, I had to have it towed home.
Okay, so you had it towed, and then what happened?
And then I opened the hood, and first I was told it just needed a battery, and lo and behold, it needed a brake cylinder, and even fuses were missing, and the whole right side of the compartment for the engine was empty. Looked like it was used for parts, in my opinion.
Well,
because there was a fuse missing.
Okay. So what do you do with the car? You tow it to a mechanic, and what does a mechanic tell you?
It would cost $1,000 to have the car repaired, and he would not repair it because it's junk.
Okay. So then what happens?
Then I left the car in the parking lot, and for some odd reason, the owner of this mini shopping center decided to have, quote, this junk car towed. And I have contacted my attorney in order to retrieve the car.
Oh, so you don't have the car now?
No, I don't. It's somewhere in somebody's tow lot.
Well, you don't even have the title to the car, right?
That's right. Chris still has the title. I am...
What? Okay. If your testimony is you paid in full for the car, why didn't you have the title and register it in your name before you parked it in somebody's parking lot?
I trusted Chris that he would certainly provide me the title, and I was going to give him $100 for the title if he asked for it, but
So the
I felt
agreement was
after-
that you paid him $200 and then you would pay him another 100 for the title?
Exactly.
Okay, so
And then I saw all the repairs that this automobile needed. That was exorbitant.
and then what happened? Then your
Well,
car got towed and now you want your money back, but you don't have a car to return because it wasn't registered in your name, so you can't pick it up from the tow company.
Hopefully my attorney resolved that problem.
Oh, that's totally not happening. How long ago did the car get towed?
3 days ago.
Yeah, that's a problem because the only people who can pick it up are the people in whose name it's registered. And my understanding, Mr. Day, is that the person in whose name is registered, he asked you to sell the car for him. He's a customer who you did work on the car for. And then, unfortunately, he had a stroke or something?
Yeah, he had left the car in my possession. We had started repairing it before he had his medical accident. And I had purchased quite a bit of parts, a couple $100 worth of parts, and got it to where it almost needed to be done, but he'd lost interest in it because he was not allowed to drive anymore. I supplied the parts that were still not installed when I gave the car Mr. Emory. I let him leave the $200 deposit for the parts that I had.
Well, where's the paperwork from this sale?
He was pretty much a verbal agreement. He had paid.
How
for the
does an
parts that
owner of an automotive LLC in Ohio do verbal agreements for the sale of a car? You know you have requirements to put stuff in writing?
No, I have my invoices from the original client and for what he paid for. He asked me as a
That's not what I
favor
was
to sell
asking.
the
I'm
vehicle
asking
for
about
him.
the sale of this car to this fellow.
He did not purchase it. All he did was leave a deposit.
Why does he have your client's car? What is the agreement, according to you, that you reach with the plaintiff?
I allowed, because he was a longtime customer, I allowed him to move it to his property to finish repairing it.
But it's not yours. It's the other guy's, the guy who had the strokes.
Right. Ed knows that the purchase price was $600. He kept changing the price. He would say, I've got 75. I said, Ed, keep saving up. Well, he brought $200 and I allowed him to move it to his property to work on it. He would get the title when he paid the other $400 so I could pay the owner of the car.
So what happened?
That's been the agreement all along.
That'd be really nice if you had it in writing so there wouldn't be this dispute. And I'm a little bit concerned that a guy who owns an auto sale place, is that what it is, or a mechanic?
Repair shop.
A repair shop
repair shop.
doesn't put this sale in writing. Because you put everything else in writing, right? So why didn't you put this in writing?
With Mr. Emory, we didn't think we had to. He's been a client for over 12 years.
Well, what do you think now?
Well, I see where his standing is. It's a shame.
Well, it sounds like maybe you should have put it in writing, right? Because you are in litigation in front of America. So what happens in the end?
Well, he hasn't. I have not heard anything about this.
Oh, so the first time you hear the car got towed was now?
Yeah.
Can I ask you, Mr. Emory, how was the car, if it's not running, what was it doing in the parking lot of some shopping mall?
Because I took it there to have it repaired, and it was parked almost front of their door, and then they looked at the car and they said, it's junk, it's not worth repairing it.
And then you didn't pick it up, so they just put it in the parking lot?
They just left it there. I don't even think they moved the car at all. So basically somebody decided that the car, I want to say probably a week.
Yeah, but why would you leave it there for a week?
I live nearby. I live within walking distance, actually.
I know it's convenient for you. My question really is, why would you leave your car illegally there for a week? Because you don't have a right to leave it there for a week.
Well, I didn't think it would be illegal because it is a public parking spot.
It isn't. It's a private property. It's private property, and you kept your car there for a week. So the owners of the mall got sick of looking at it. How could you not predict that was going to happen? You can't just leave a car that is not titled to you, that is not registered to you, abandoned. And, so now we're in a position where you want your money back. Not only that, you want your 2 toes back, but you don't have a car to give him. How are you going to get your money back if you don't have a car to give him?
Yeah, well, I would certainly think that the car that is stored by the owners of the
it's not stored by there. They got it towed. It's in some tow shop racking up charges.
Oh, yes, that's right. Exactly. That's why I hired an attorney, because I consider it basically theft. And I would like to say the following. This is a Hungarian proverb. First you lie, then you steal, then you kill. And we are in the position now where this man has totally betrayed my trust.
You have a counterclaim against him, Mr. Day, for $400 that you say he owes you that you can't prove because you have no written agreement with him, and he says the agreement was just $200. Then he kind of said, well, and another $100 when he gave me the title. You are also suing him on top of that for $100 in labor and replacing the brake lines, which is a job that you sold to the present owner of the car. And you're trying to get that money from him so you don't just want the $600 you say the deal was for, you want an additional $100? How do you figure?
I am just looking at the purchase price. He has deposited $200.
Then why aren't you suing for $400?
Well, the $400 is left what I owe the owner, and I was not charging him labor in part of the purchase price. But
okay, my dear, your claim is for $500. $400 of it, I understand. What's the other $100?
A little compensation for the labor included in it. I've performed over 10 hours.
So we should convert you're arguing to me with one side of your mouth that the deal is for $400, but then you're arguing to me with the other side of your mouth that you should get $500.
Well, no, the $400 is due. I would think.
Okay, no problem. Can you prove your case?
Yep.
Prove to me that $400 is due.
I have the invoice from the original owner.
What do you mean the invoice from the original owner? Prove to me that this guy owes you $400. Show me how he owes you $400.
He wants $400 for the vehicle.
I don't care what the original owner wants. I'm telling you, prove to me what you sold it to this guy for. This guy, the plaintiff. Prove it to me. Prove to me that it was a sale for $600.
Well, he has a friend that was actually present that admitted that the last time they were at my shop.
Do you want to call that friend to testify? Go ahead.
I don't know his friend's name, but he's a tall, dark-haired guy that always gives him a ride in a blue car.
Okay. What color's your car?
It's not blue.
No?
No,
All right.
it's not me.
I don't know what to tell you, my friend. You know, you have no evidence to buttress the way you say it's supposed to go, and you have no car to return to demand your money back. On your claim, Mr. Emory, against Mr. Day, my verdict is for Mr. Day. You have no car to return. You cannot demand your money back. And on your claim, Mr. Day, against Mr. Emory, to pay you not $400 but $500, because according to you, that was the deal, just prove that was the deal. That's all you got to do instead of coming here with your hands empty. So you also lose in your case against Mr. Emory. That's my judgment.
I deeply appreciate it, and may all of you walk in peace and grace.
Mr. Emory, let's begin with you. How do you feel about the case, the judge's decision in the case?
I think the judge was very fair, and I think the claims by the defendant is simply bovine scatology. That is BS. It's a lie. He has a lousy imagination.
I'm not surprised you feel that way. Okay, we know how you feel. Mr. Day, how do you feel about the outcome? You are a loser, too.
Well, I just lose out on my labor pretty much, and I donate a lot of my time to the neighborhood on labor anyway. It's really a simple matter. It could have been solved if he would just pay the money owed to the gentleman who was selling the car, and then he would be able to retrieve it from his tow lot. I still owe the gentleman the $400 in good faith that was selling the car. I'll take care of that out of my own pocket.
All right. I guess you'll have to do that. No question about it. All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much. I'm sorry you're both losers here. Harvey, what's your take on this case?
Doug, one of the ways of protecting yourself when you buy a used car, especially from a private party, is to demand a warranty. Now, a lot of times the car is sold as is, but you can always ask for a warranty, and it's up to you on exactly what you want. You could ask for a 30-day warranty on all parts and labor. You negotiated with the seller, but I got to tell you, it is a good idea, even if you have to pay a little more, to get that assurance when you buy a used car.
Judges, does it bother you when people are using incorrect grammar?
It don't bother me when people use incorrect grammar. It really doesn't. But you do have to be precise about language. I had a professor in law school who was a federal judge up in Boston, may he rest in peace, John McNaught. And he told us this story once in a course that he was teaching, I think, on evidence. And this is in New England, so he had a New England accent, and he said he was in a trial where everybody had a strong New England accent. And it was a trial involving a shooting. And there was a tall man and a short man who got into an argument, and one of them was shot. And the prosecutor is asking a question of a witness who was there at the scene. And he says, "Now, sir," on cross-examination, "is that the man that was shot?" Just like that, right? And the witness says, "Yes, it was." Judge McNaught looks at him and goes, wait a minute. Did you mean the man that was shot by a firearm or shot in stature, right? And the witness said, "I meant the man that was shot by the firearm." And the prosecutor gets up and he goes, "No, Judge, I meant the one that was shot in stature. Can I ask a follow-up question?" He goes, "Yes, go ahead, and let's clarify." So some words sound alike, and sometimes they're words that really aren't alike, all right?
So, you just started using LinkedIn Premium. Now what? Well, on your premium company page, you noticed around 7.5 times more page engagement and 5 times more page views. Well done. And now, new clients are messaging you. All because you're using LinkedIn Premium, which helps you get the business growth you want. Think big, small business. Think big. Start your free trial at linkedin.com/premium small business. That's linkedin.com/premium small business.
This episode is brought to you by Temptations Cat Treats. Your cat will come running for the perfectly irresistible Temptations Creamy Puree and Temptations Lickable Spoon Cat Treats. The best time to feed lickable cat treats to your cat is anytime. Feed by hand for a playful moment, in a bowl for a creamy treat, or as a topper to make mealtime fun. Visit temptationstreats.com to learn more.
This is the plaintiff, Victor Romo. He says he purchased a bedroom dresser from the defendant, but the guy didn't give him all the parts, and now the thing's useless to him. He scoured the internet for the missing pieces, couldn't find them, and he wants a refund in the amount of $1,093.20. That's what he's out. This is the defendant, Achal. He says the plaintiff hired some movers to pick the dresser up, and all he knows is he sold the guy a perfectly good, working dresser. Once the movers took it, it's out of his hands as to what happened to it. He's accused of dressing down a customer.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says that he purchased a closed dresser from the defendant and it had all sorts of missing parts. But the defendant is saying, well, the plaintiff hired a mover and the mover is probably responsible. It's the case of dresser. He hardly knew her.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Romo, you are suing Mr. Achal for $193.20 that you have invested in a dresser that you bought from him, which according to you came in pieces and a piece of broken junk. How did you find the dresser?
Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace. And how much was he asking?
Yeah. Well, the original price was $130, but he said he had multiple offers for $130, so I upped it to $135.
Really? Okay. And what kind of dresser was this, Mr. Achal?
It was a IKEA mom white color six drawer dresser.
You know, new that costs $150, right?
It costs $180 new, and then once you do tax and shipping and everything, it's over $200.
So go on, Mr. Romo.
Everything seemed fine. On May 14th, I actually messaged him asking if he could not fully disassemble the dresser, because I've had some friends who said they've taken IKEA dressers apart and it kind of weakens the furniture a little bit.
Right.
So I was thinking maybe the gentleman could not have to fully disassemble it.
Okay, but you didn't go pick it up?
I unfortunately couldn't pick it up myself because I was actually helping my mother because my mom has just gotten off a knee surgery.
Okay, so who did you send to approve the condition of the item? Your movers?
I hired a mover.
How much did they charge you?
It was 62.
Okay, so let's add 135 and 62. And what do we get? $200, which is what the thing costs new. What's wrong with you?
Thing is, IKEA didn't have these in stock.
Oh, I know all about that. They don't have it in stock, but then they do if you wait. So you send movers for $60 to go pick it up, and what happens?
So they pick it up. The gentleman here sends me a photo of it taken apart. He sends me a picture also of when it's in the mover's car, asks for payment. So I send the payment because I don't want to have to the movers are basically charging me like for the every minute that they're there picking up the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I send the money. The mover comes over. I help him unpack. I start going through the items, and I'm noticing there's damaged pieces. So I reach out to the gentleman. I even show him some photos, and he says none of that damage has to do with him.
Okay. Let me hear from you, Mr. Achal.
Yeah, sure. On my end, it wasn't a damaged piece of furniture because I had recently got it from IKEA. And when we loaded the furniture on the truck, I also asked the movers to, check it completely, take photographs and send to Victor, whatever they
did you take
need
photographs of for example, one of the things he's complaining about is that you listed it as like new condition.
Mm-hmm.
And there's these kinds of scratches on the surface.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any of those. Because
you don't remember seeing it. That's not very comforting because one would remember seeing it if they had eyeballs. So when you say you don't remember seeing it, what do you mean?
I basically mean that those scratches are not from me because when I loaded the furniture on the truck, there were no damages, and I had sent 2 photographs to Victor, one when I was selling the furniture, and then second when I loaded it on the truck. So
I know, but when you load it on the truck, it's in a million pieces. So I don't know whether this piece is showing. I see the pieces of the drawer showing. So when the movers put it, who was the one taking pictures of it in the boxes in the movers van? Was that you, Mr. Achal?
I took one picture. I'm not sure if the movers took additional pictures and sent that to Victor separately. I'm not sure about that.
Did the movers send you pictures, Mr. Romo?
Mover sent me nothing, no.
So here's a picture of the dresser that you put online, and I mean, it certainly in this picture looks to be in really good condition, unless that item is covering the scratches. Did you mention in the advertisement that there were any scratches, or no?
No, it was like new. It was like new, and it's the exact. And I even have the items on the dresser with me right now to show that that is literally in my bedroom. I have all the items.
And it's not where the item is. Now that I look at it, now that I look at this picture where the scratches are, that's not where the item was covering, I don't think.
That's actually one of the drawers.
This is a drawer?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that kind of makes that pretty clear then, because in this photo, the drawers are pretty pristine. There's nothing wrong with them, right?
I mean, it's hard to tell from the photo because it is taken from a distance.
It's not hard to tell. The only question is, do you have this photo in your phone, Mr. Achal?
Me or?
Mr. Achal?
Yes, I do.
Can you do me a favor? Can you show it to me up on the screen on your phone?
Sure. Okay.
Okay, now I want you to hit info, and I want to see the date the photo was taken.
May 10th.
Right. When did you put the ad up?
That same week, so maybe I can go back. Yeah, May 10th week. That's the week I was moving on. I can go back and try.
Mr. Romo, how are you going to prove your movers didn't just wreck everything?
If you look at some of the photos I've sent you, there are some little damages to some of the pieces.
Oh, absolutely there's damages. The problem is that you've had a third party intercede between you and the defendant. And did your mover say, hey, this thing is all wrecked? I mean, it comes, right. So maybe it wasn't. And then it comes to you and then it's wrecked. So maybe he's not responsible for the wreckage. Maybe your movers are responsible. How do you exclude that from the equation? You have to come in here and prove as a plaintiff that it is more likely than not that he's the one who did this. You have a burden of proof. I've even gone the extra mile, got off the bench, and made him show me the picture because I want to make sure it wasn't when he built it, right? I want to make sure this isn't like a picture from when he originally had it and it was pristine. Plus, why did you even need movers if it was going to be taken apart so much? Did you not have a vehicle to put it in? Because you could put that in the passenger seat. If you had a two-seater, you could.
I did not.
Yeah. All right.
I went back on Facebook Marketplace and I actually found another dresser, the exact same one that a lady was giving away. So I went and picked up parts for it. And
okay.
The way you could take it apart, I could see how he could have damaged it when taking it apart. Because even I damaged a little bit when I was taking this other dresser apart.
Was it necessary to take? Oh, you did. Was it necessary, Mr. Achal, to take it apart in order to get it out the door?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Got it. Mr. Romo, you got to, at some point, you got to take a little responsibility for how poorly things go for you.
Have you looked at some of the
I don't
other
know
photos?
how are you going to prove that he gave it to you damaged as opposed to that your movers damaged it? How are you going to do that?
How are you going to prove that?
That could have happened when your guys were popping wheelies in their truck. I have no idea.
I seriously doubt that would happen in
I know, but see, I don't have to doubt. First of all, I don't, because the thing was all put together. Let's get a picture of that up here. So this is how the stuff was, right? Mr. Achal?
Yes.
That's how the stuff went. All right.
I don't have all of these pictures. These are not from me.
No.
Those are from me because he also did not include the screws
so this is how,
that were needed.
This is how it came in these boxes in the back of this van.
You can already see some damage right there, miss.
Okay, it's Judge, not Miss, but that's the inside of a drawer? Yeah.
But that's not my...
No, that's not even the inside of a drawer. That's the inside of the side of the dresser.
And ma'am, this could well and be at Victor's place. This is not. I mean, I don't remember taking this picture myself at all.
No, you didn't take it, Mr. Achal. This is a picture that maybe his mover sent to him. Mr. Romo gave me this picture. And he circles this to show that there's a mark there. But I can't see from this picture what the mark is. But that is, you can't expect it to look brand new like out of the box in IKEA. If he had to take it apart, that wood was touching the other wood was touching the other particle board, so I don't, this is on the inside. You're just not proving your case. You're a very impatient person. Your decisions end up costing you more in gasoline and movers than if you just waited for IKEA to restock. You're just unable to prove that Mr. Achal lied to you about the condition of it and sent it that way. You have no affidavits from your movers saying, oh, this was in this condition and this was in that. There's nothing. I'm ruling in favor of the defendant.
Dude, seriously, the picture in the truck is from Mr. Achua.
Well, the plaintiff has lost his case. He could not prove it. He didn't have evidence enough to prove what he was saying. So Mr. Romo is a loser. Let's talk to him. What are you thinking?
I may have to take this guy to another court then.
Well, you can only sue once. This case is over now for you. All right, Mr. Achal, what do you think about the outcome of the case? I imagine you feel pretty relieved, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just pretty upset by the incorrect charges put on me and grateful that the judge, gave an appropriate eventual ruling.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And that'll wrap it up for this case. Harvey?
Doug, I got to tell you, when you buy something like a dresser, any kind of used item, take pictures of the item and inspect it thoroughly before you buy it. I realize that a lot of times things get shipped to you and whatnot, but if you get something shipped to you and it's in a box, just take video of opening up the box and then inspecting the item, because if you don't open the box and you don't see it on camera, they're going to say, oh, you did it later. Do it so nobody can question whether it is intact or not.
If you were on death row, what would your very last meal be? Since this is fairly likely to happen, it's important that we get this out there now.
I think my last meal would be ribs.
Ugh.
Ribs from Houston that are smoked for, right?
Those are so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I wish I'd thought of that. That's
right.
like, they fall off the bone. They're
right,
fantastic.
They fall off the
cook
bone.
them for like 2 days.
Right, they cook it for 2 days. One day they told us the whole process.
Right.
And yeah, I think it would be ribs.
Those are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in a different direction here, okay? Eggplant parmesan with spaghetti, something like that. And
really?
A nice red wine along. So yeah, I love that. It's like total comfort food for me.
Is it really? Because I've been married to you for 28 years and we've never cooked that.
It, though, when we go out.
Yeah.
But Dessert. What about dessert? What are you getting for dessert?
Something chocolate.
Okay. I'm going to go with cotton candy ice cream.
That's right.
From Cold Stone Creamery.
Which your children, one of your children buys it every birthday and every
year.
Father's
I get like
Day.
a pint of it for, and I don't eat it all year until that day comes around.
And then you eat the entire thing in one sitting.
I can eat a whole quart of it basically in a sitting. It is great stuff. So.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is the plaintiff, David. He says his car was towed by the defendant, and when he went to get it out of her tow yard, he was shocked to see he'd been cleaned out. She stole his expensive tools along with a steel Force Air Max rifle. The defendant refuses to compensate him, and he's suing her for the $773.88 he's owed. This is the defendant, Karen. She says this guy was towed because his car wasn't registered. He came in to get the car a month later and then claimed his stuff was missing. She had no access to the inside of the car as it was locked. She stole nothing. And this guy's just trying to scam her. She's accused of being sticky-fingered.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says that his car was towed by the defendant, and the defendant stole a bunch of his personal belongings. But the defendant says that she had no access to the inside of the car. The doors were locked, and this guy's just a liar. It's the case of sticky fingers.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. David, you are suing the tow company that towed your car for $773.88 in stuff that you say was in the car that I guess you're saying they stole. Tell me what happened.
Yes. What happened was that on August 28th, my car was towed because I didn't have it registered.
Okay.
Yes.
Because it wasn't registered and you had it parked where, on the street?
No, I was on a parking zone, but I was parked after the hour limit. It wasn't no night parking, but I didn't see the sign, and I.
Well, why were you driving an unregistered car?
That was just because that was a special date with my girlfriend, so we went to the beach. We went to take a walk.
No, but why hadn't you already registered your car?
Oh, that happened because the DMV was happening with the virus. I made an appointment, and it took me a couple days because I had to talk with them. Yes.
All right, you're supposed to do all that before you drive the car. In any event, your car gets legitimately towed, according to you. And by the way, how much did you pay them for the storage and the tow?
I got the receipt here for $825.78.
Okay, and you're suing for $773 in stuff that you say they stole. What evidence do you have that you had that stuff in the trunk?
I don't have evidence that it was in the trunk. I just got the evidence that I had it.
Okay. Let me hear from you, Ms. Karen.
Hi. Well, we did tow it. We did get a call from the police department that they dispatched out to us that on August 28th that there was an unregistered vehicle. We go there, we pick it up, and we put it in our yard. We don't touch the vehicles. We don't go in the vehicles. And he came 25 days later. And to me, is if you have something that valuable in your car, usually the customers will come that day or the next day.
Yeah, how come? Why didn't you go and see them and say, "Hey, can I get my work tools out?" What do you do for a living?
At that time, I was just collecting because I had a problem with the company I was working in. So I was moving too, so I didn't have any place to have it. I have it all in my car.
This air rifle, tell me about that. An Umarex Steel Force air rifle. Tell me about that.
It's an air rifle from for BB guns.
Okay.
I bought it because I just like to do hiking sometimes, and I bring it with me just to.
Right. What's it look like? Does it look like an AR-15?
Rifle.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So can I ask you a question? Why don't you call them immediately and say, I need to take my stuff out of the car?
At that time, I wasn't working. So
you had plenty of time to call.
Yeah, I wasn't really needing the tools at the time.
Okay, so let me hear from you, Ms. Karen. On the day that he picks it up, are you there or no?
No, my dispatcher was there.
Did he make a complaint when he picked up the car?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have an affidavit from the dispatcher?
Unfortunately, the dispatcher passed away from the COVID.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. All right, so before passing away, what did the dispatcher tell you? I'm assuming it's before passing away. And
oh, absolutely. No, he told me that the gentleman came in here, he paid for his tow, and then when he went to his vehicle, he was telling me all this stuff was missing. And there was nothing in the vehicle.
Okay, did you guys have a key to his vehicle, to his trunk?
No. Nope. We park it in a parking lot area that's locked, gated.
How would they have the key to go into your trunk?
They had the keys. With the day my car was towed, the police asked me for my keys because they are gonna move. They were gonna move my car.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. How were you around police to ask you for keys? Because the tow would have happened when you weren't watching. So what is it you're saying?
No. I was inside of my car when that happened.
I'm sorry. You're inside of your car when what happens?
Yes. The police saw me parked there and asked me for my registration. So I told them that I didn't register my car yet. So they say, oh, it's okay. We are going to tow your car.
So according to you, you gave the keys to the police?
Yes.
How do you know the police didn't steal all your stuff?
You think?
No, I don't think. But I'm saying, did you guys have his keys?
No.
I don't know whether police would say, give me your keys. Because they don't need your keys. Right. Did you have the keys for some reason?
We didn't have the keys. Nope.
Yeah.
They gave me the keys when I came.
Who did?
You. They gave me the keys when I take the car.
The person who was at the dispatch?
The person who was working there.
I don't know whether you had tools in there. I don't know whether someone took your tools. I do know that you are unable to prove that the tow company took your tools. It's a little suspicious that you're suing for $800 worth of tools when you had to pay the tow company $800, but that alone doesn't do it. I would need to see some evidence that those tools were there and that they had access to it. The police wouldn't typically ask for your darn keys. They're not driving your car. They're towing it. Yep. And tow companies don't need a key to tow the car.
Absolutely
so there's just no reason for the police to ask you for your keys. You may have wanted a nice day for your girlfriend that day, but your decision-making lacks a lot to be desired, not just on that day, but in every day since then. So in this case, I certainly don't see any evidence that the tow company stole your stuff, and I'm not going to rule in your favor. So my verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Excuse me.
So unfortunately for the plaintiff, he didn't have any evidence to support what he was saying, and he loses the case. David, let me ask you how you feel right now. A little upset, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. The towing company has cameras all over the place. If they didn't took it, they can check the cameras and they can say, hey, I didn't took it.
Well, unfortunately, there's just no way you could convince the judge that that's what happened, that they took your stuff. So I'm sorry, but you lose the case. On the other hand, Karen, I imagine you're okay with it. You feel much better now that the judge found in your favor. Am I right?
Yes, I'm very happy with her decision. He didn't have anything in that trunk, and we did not have the keys.
Okay, very good. Well, congratulations. All right, Harvey, what do you think?
You know, Doug, we talk often about taking pictures of things before someone damages or steals them. It's impossible to do in a situation like that because you never know when your car is going to get towed. So I have advice, and it has nothing to do with taking pictures in a situation like that. What it has to do with is not leaving expensive and valuable things inside your car. Because if something like this happens, whether it's a valet, a tow truck company, or whatnot, if you don't have proof, you lose.
I ordered online what was supposed to be an adult folding scooter from a company in China. After 3 months of waiting, I finally got the package, and inside was a cheap ring. I emailed them asking for my money back, and I sent photos of what they sent, but they refused to refund my money. What can I do?
Well, this, as you know, is my specialty.
Yeah, I think you spent about a third of your adult life on the phone.
Hello,
with
customer service? No, don't put me on hold.
Every time I walk into your office, I hear that music, that background music from customer service or from hold. You're always on hold with somebody. Yeah. Sometimes multiple holds. You'll have one hold here and another hold there.
Yeah, sometimes I have to put a sticky on which hold I'm on because I'll forget, you know.
Oh, my God.
Look, we've become a global economy. And people order stuff from all over, and most everything they order is gonna come from China. And when you order something online, you are clearly not paying cash.
Yeah.
You are paying with a credit card. So the thing to do is to contest the credit card.
Right.
And when you're going to contest the credit card, the best way to win is to document what you are complaining about. So start emailing them saying it's been 3 months, what is going on? And then when they don't answer you, you keep every single one of your emails and any emails they send back. But in this global economy, you will always have a recourse with your credit card company because that is the safety mechanism so that the economy can keep going.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's going to do it, folks. Tune in tomorrow for Judge Million and me. We'll see you next time.